Welcome to another episode. Hey, we're on day 13, baby. We're counting down days now on the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. Of course, the only wrestling podcast online, hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne, hosted by Mike the Shoot Shepherd right over there.
Whoop.
And like I said, day 13, because coming out of day 1, we are counting every single day now. I think it's only fair. That every pay-per-view be called day just whatever of the year it is.
Well, we'll see. After January, it'll get harder to remember the days. So.
Have they ever had a pay-per-view on, I guess, that February 29th, on that special leap year day?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
I'm trying to think, what would the pun be? Like a leap, or like what would the gimmick match be? It would be a leap fight, a leap year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find it. I'm sure the nerds back at home know what's going on. But hey, we are hot off of the Shooties, the only professional wrestling award show that matters. PWI, you can suck it. No one cares that your awards suspiciously were very similar to ours. However, came out after our award show. So I would like to point that out right off the bat.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them have been doing that, following after us.
Yeah,
getting the hot tips
in the weeks or months after us, and then all their award recipients are similar to ours. It was another great show. It was a great 2 hours of everything. And now, what I'm most excited about, not only with the start of the new year, is the start of the new Shooties, like the prospect of the Shooties 2022. It just excites me.
Yeah, I mean, within the first week, we had some outstanding matches already contending for the new Shooty year. Like Brian and Hangman, of course, who I'm sure we're going to see a lot from this year.
We're going to see a lot of those too, and we're going to hear a lot about them at the end of the year. So let's get into this week's episode of the podcast. Let's start the show off the way that we always do, which is by crowning a brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. This week's Tweet of the Week.
Who's up to something?
I didn't think anyone was up to something, Mike. Sometimes I think like the winner.
Well, that's not always. Sometimes
the winner is kind of just like determined at a point, and then life goes on. Sometimes. This week's Tweet of the Champion goes out to none other than now 8 and tying Tweet of the Week champion record holder CM Punk. The chick magnet himself respond to a photo that Indy Hartwell posted on her Twitter account with her and the Old School Divas title, the pink one. And he just he put it all on the line right there. Said, "You got to fight Cora now." An Indy Hartwell Cora Jade feud. Cora Jade hopped into the chat, tweeted herself and what looks like from a original CM Punk WWE run house show. A little selfie action caught, and she said, "I'm ready." CM Punk responds to the two of them, says, "You've been killing it. We're all proud of you. Don't take any shit from anyone." CM Punk, the player coach of professional wressling, and that's a lot. That's high praise to be said from CM Punk himself.
Yeah, no, that's got to feel pretty good for those two. Yeah, I mean, especially since a few weeks ago, Cora Jade and Darby Allin were exchanging shots, so not everyone carries the same beef. We're more than just loyal to the company we work for, so nice to see some genuine compliments from the chick magnet himself.
The chick magnet himself. That's all we got to say. An 8-time Tweet of the Week champion, tying the Ran Man. So, a lot of prestige at the top of that, those reigns.
Yeah, who's gonna get 16? Who's gonna get Flair's record?
Yeah, who's gonna get who's gonna get to the Ric Flair level? It'll be exciting to see who the greatest of all time will be. Let's get into the week then, shall we? Let's get into our professional wrestling week, kicking off with our Friday round of shows. let's get ourselves into some WWE Smackdown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for Smackdown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, we used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just Smackdown Live. And this is our fallout from day 1. Day 7. Day 7. A week out, or 6 days after.
Well, day 6.
Day 6.
Technically.
Yeah.
But only 6 days later, Roman Reigns, he's made a full comeback from his COVID protocol, and he's here. He's still Universal Champion, didn't have to defend the belt. So, yeah, he just cuts a promo about Lesnar, Heyman, so they come out, and Brock just gets in his face and puts himself over as the new WWE champ and says, hey, let's give everyone what they want. Title versus title, champ versus champ. And Reigns is like, yeah, not a bad idea, but it's not my idea, and this is my show, so we do what I want. And then he just starts insulting Paul Heyman, and Heyman's like, I loved you, my tribal chief, and what did you do? And Brock just cuts him off, says, shut up! And Reigns is like, don't talk to him that way. And Brock says, or what? And then Heyman says to Brock, please don't talk to him that way. So still kind of playing both sides. And Brock just tells Paul again, shut up. Reigns comes flying in with the Superman punch, and he walks off. But, some good little tension building there between the three. Where does anyone lie? Where does Heyman lie?
And, of course, leading to the Paul Heyman on a pole match. Or Paul Heyman...
custody of Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman in a Shark Tank above the ring match. All of these options. Is Extreme Rules coming out? Isn't that one? That one's always around the Rumble, right? Is Extreme Rules coming up?
I feel like that one hops around the calendar, so I don't know. But they are going to Saudi for an elimination chamber.
Hey, we're going to Saudi for the actual chamber pay-per-view.
I think the February pay-per-view. It might not be called Elimination Chamber, but the chamber will be there.
Huh?
It could. Maybe it'll be the greatest elimination chamber.
14 pods.
Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced, but AC Dirt sent me a little text saying that's the plan.
Interesting. Hey, that'd be cool. I mean, the chamber's always a great place.
Always a good match.
Leading, we'll hear about more from Brock Lesnar over on Monday Night Raw. He's a free agent, right? So he's allowed to.
He does not abide by any sort of quarterly invitational rules.
Good. Just want to get that out of the way, just so everyone can be on the same page about what's going on.
Yeah. We go backstage where Sami Zayn's talking to Johnny Knoxville about the Raw Rumble. And Sammy's like, hey, bud, this isn't Jackass. You got to have, you need technical wrestling skills. You haven't even qualified for the Rumble. So if you go and show me, an elder statesman of SmackDown, then just maybe. But until then, just stay out of everybody's way.
Yeah.
So, already planting some seeds there for the actual Rumble match.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the final spot gonna be? What's the Knoxville spot gonna be? And maybe it'll involve Sami Zayn.
Probably. But right after that, Sami Zayn's coming out to take on Rick Boogs, who once again just looking great, showing off all that powerlifting, tossing Sami, ragdolling him all over the place. At one point, he even lifts Sami in a suplex, drops down to a knee, and then lifts him all the way back up. And Pat McAfee just freaking out over only he can. Anyway, Sami fights back, but Boogs catches him in a roll-up, gets a 3. So another big win for Boogs. Sami's pissed off, and then Johnny Knoxville comes sneaking out, dumps Sami over the top ropes from behind, and he celebrates, and the ring announcer says Johnny Knoxville's qualified for the Royal Rumble.
I mean,
so that's all you have to do.
If getting a Rumble style elimination is not enough to qualify, then I don't know what would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's more than a lot of other people do, but I guess he's an outsider, so we have to do something to earn it.
And Rick Boogs...
put up the graphic. He's on it.
He's on the graphic. I don't know if they're on the graphic, though, but Rick Boogs, Eric Bugenhagen, guy's a beast. New favorite YouTube channel is the 45 seconds videos, cell phone, potato quality videos that he posts of himself lifting an insane amount of weight and then putting it back down. Cannot recommend it enough.
No, I think because he's still in this kind of comedy role, it's underrated. His physique it's one of the most impressive ones on the roster.
Gotta be.
Besides like guys like Brock and Lashley and stuff. But he's right up there. But then we go to Charlotte Flair coming out. Her talk segment of Flair for the Dramatic. I don't know. Is that a talk show or is that just what they called this? I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't have the level of kind of branding and signage that, let's say, a Miz TV or a Peep Show would have.
Yeah, no real set.
Almost as if it was like the pilot of the show, right? You know, we'll get a little bit of a bigger budget for the second episode, or it could just go the way of Corey Graves' electric chair. We never know.
We don't know, but Charlotte just cuts a promo, insults the crowd, and then talks about the Royal Rumble as we play a video package for the Women's Rumble, which just kind of spoils a bunch of surprise entrants that they could have used, like the Bella Twins, Summer Rae, Michelle McCool, Kelly, and Mickie James, and Lita. So that's like a third of the Rumble right there, almost.
Yeah. So all in all, after this episode and kind of like everything together, we've already just named 18 entrants to the 30-woman Rumble.
Yeah.
Which is more than about 2/3 of the people in it. We already know who are. That's not fun.
Well, I mean, especially the surprise, like the Bella Twins, I would have got a pop, and
the Bella Twins. What are they doing back here? And now, and then I start to wonder to myself, did they release so much of the roster that now it's going to be like? Remember that first Rumble was a lot of like not Smackdown or Raw performers. There was a lot of callbacks and a lot of things like that. It sort of feels like that.
Well, I think we will have some surprise
and
returns
Mickie James.
Well, yeah, even Pat McAfee mentions she's the current Impact Knockouts champion. He said those words on air. So.
I wasn't thinking that. No, remember like 6 months ago when she was released? Pissed because they threw like her. Apparently, he was like they threw my stuff in a trash bag and then just like left it out in the hall. And then now she's back taking the paycheck. Like if that's not something, then I don't know what something is.
Yeah, well, and like I said,
was that a shoot?
Knockouts champion.
Was that a work?
I think the trash bag was a big bad misunderstanding.
So that was real, and then she somehow forgave them in her heart of hearts.
Well, Vince McMahon personally called her, and he's like, "That's not what I think you. Whoever did that has been taken care of, something like that."
So here's some. I guess it's probably cheaper to pay people for the Rumble than it would be to like have a performer on for the entire year. You know, it's probably like more financially worth it. Like we'll give you $15,000 for the Rumble just because we don't want to give you $100,000 for the year.
Yeah, I mean that could be part of it.
Hey, I know a thing or two about business.
But no, I've heard rumors that she's even going to be coming out with that Impact Knockouts Championship. So this could be some small cross promotion. You know, I mean, not that WWE needs to do it, but
okay, yeah.
Well, they mentioned it.
We'll have to see it. We'll have to see it if it happens. If not, I mean, I think she's it's possible.
It's possible. But then at the end, Charlotte, she says, "Guess what? I'm entering the Rumble as well, and if I win, I'm gonna pick my challenger." When, I would choose to challenge the other championship if I was her. But hey, whatever. So that's when Naomi comes out and she's like, "Hey, why wait till WrestleMania? Why don't you put that title on the line against me right now?" And Charlotte just says no. So Naomi smacks her in the face, and we get a non-title match. So just jumping right in, Naomi taking on Charlotte. Crowd's pretty behind Naomi. And yeah, they got a good amount of time here. Charlotte gets Naomi in the figure four, but Naomi gets to the ropes, so the ref starts counting. But Charlotte won't break the hold, and that's when Sonya Deville chimes in, and she's like, by the way, no DQ. And I think she did that earlier, too, said no countouts when Charlotte was about to get counted out. So Sonya's just fucking with Naomi still, and eventually she goes for her split-leg moonsault, but Charlotte catches her, hits a big backdrop, and then the natural selection to get the win with a bunch of assistance from Sonya Deville.
A bunch of assistants. It seems like she's next. It seems like Naomi's filling this what the Tony Storm role was supposed to be. The next to encounter the Queen. But still a lot of unfinished business with Sonya Deville. I feel like the Sonya Deville feud is like the Mania feud.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long burning storyline, but I'm happy they're sticking with it. It's going to make the actual match feel big. So. And
it is nice to know that no matter what, like Charlotte's going to make it down to that Final Four, So like I do have kind of like that. I do have even if she doesn't take the win. I mean, I think she won last year, the year two ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, because Bianca Belair won last one.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that she'll just be there. That's all.
I'm sure she'll be there.
She'll be there.
But let's move along to Mr. Corbin and his happy talk, which, as dreadful as usual, brags about beating McIntyre and says, "Hey, let's bring the guy out." And it's just Madcap dressed up as Drew and does a bad accent, bad humor. Viking Raiders interrupt them. So we just get the Viking Raiders taking on Corbin and Moss. And nothing special here, but I think the first time we finally get to see Madcap's finishing move, which was kind of cool. It was like this neck breaker headlock driver thing. It calls it the punchline. But it gets him the win, him and Corbin.
Yeah, anytime I think there was 2 talk segments in a row. I guess kinda, between Charlotte's thing and then this thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to keep, the talk show vibe going on a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never excited for happy talk, so
nah,
they can just end it. But something to get excited for: the Usos taking on the New Day. I know we just got it, but like we said, it's always a good match, and this one's a street fight, and it's for the titles once again. So, just another chapter in the storied rivalry here. Early on, the Usos pull out a roll of duct tape. They tape Woods up to the ropes. But Kofi gets him free, and then they bring out the steel steps, so everyone starts bashing each other around with that. And then New Day pull out some gladiator armor. So a nice chest piece for Kofi, a helmet for Woods, and Kofi just uses the chest piece to smash Jimmy. But Woods puts his helmet on. Jay goes to super kick him in the head, but the helmet protects him, so it just no-sells it. Yeah. That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, that was good.
I got a laugh.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, a good little spot. Then Kofi hits the Trouble in Paradise, but the pin gets broken up. So the Usos just go on a roll, hit a bunch of super kicks in a row, and then they set up table up in the middle of the ring and hit Kofi with the 3D through the table. So now they are fully stealing the Dudley's finisher, and that gets them the 3 to retain.
I mean, there's kind of like a finite amount of tag moves or non-tag moves that you can do. Yeah. I think eventually,
I mean, if they wanted to use it as their new finisher,
especially if it's
cooler.
like a finish, like a actual finisher, not one of these fucking not like a zigzag or something.
Yeah. I mean, even the Uso splash, people kick out of.
Exactly,
often,
right?
So.
Like, I feel like bringing in a new maneuver that's like not kicked out of. Reeves, dominates, especially like it's one that we know.
Yeah, no, it was fine, but just a bit of another loss for a New Day, back-to-back clean losses there. So,
yeah, between all three members of the New Day haven't been booked too well lately.
Yeah, a bit of a rough ever since Woods won the King. It's been a bit of a down.
Huh? Weird, yeah.
Yeah, so at some point during the show, Adam Pearce says that he's been given the option. He gets to choose who Roman Reigns' challenger for the Universal title will be at Royal Rumble. And at the very end of the show, Roman's sitting in his dressing room, and we hear a knock on the door to the tune of the Shields theme. And Seth Rollins comes walking in and cackles like only he can. So it looks like it's Seth Rollins. That's exactly it.
Thank you.
And looks like that's it. Rollins versus Roman. That's for Royal Rumble.
Interesting. So does that mean now it was not an in-ring appearance? However, it was a backstage appearance. It was an appearance that you had no business being there.
He's the number one contender now. Isn't that some business?
Yeah, but what does that mean? There was no.
Pierce called him and said, "Can you get here by the end of the show?" And he just said,
Okay. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know because I feel like next week, if he's on SmackDown, that will be like the first. If he's on SmackDown, he's then broken, or he's then now just kind of implemented himself into the Branch Brand Invitational.
Yeah, you're gonna keep the notes on that. So however you want to mark it down, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, even though it was like a post-credit scene, it was almost like a post-credit scene, in one of those Marvel movies where, it has like a character from one of the other franchises comes in, and then you're like, oh, shit. They weren't really in the movie, but they were in the movie. Their names on the credits. Eventually, probably at the bottom there somewhere. So, I don't know. Seth Rollins, we'll have to see. Just so you know, though, the kids are keeping notes. The kids are keeping notes.
All right. Well,
okay.
That was SmackDown, and then apparently there was a dark match between Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne.
Peter Dune.
Could be some scouting for a main roster call up, or they could be getting released. Who knows?
Oh, that's so grim.
That's unfortunately that's the way it's been. But that was your Friday night SmackDown. So let's just hop on over to that other Friday show of ours, All Elite Rampage. 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 Excuse me. Kick off the show with Adam Cole taking on Jake Atlas, who we might know as former NXT wrestler there.
Yes.
Did that cartwheel or DDT thing off the top rope.
One of the recent releases.
Yeah, one of many. And he does all right here. He lasts about 10 minutes against Cole and looking good for most of the match, showing off that athletic cruiserweight style. Gets a couple near falls, but then an unfortunate spot right at the end of the match. He does a springboard into the ring. Cole super kicks him out of the air, but when Atlas lands, his knee kind of buckles and he just clutches at it immediately. The ref checks on him, and Cole climbs up the rope, goes for the Panama Sunrise, but Atlas can't even take it. His knee just buckles again, so he appears legitimately hurt there. So Cole just thinks on his feet, locks in a quick knee bar, and Atlas taps out immediately. So, unfortunate ending there. Bad luck after a pretty solid match for Atlas.
Yeah, I did hear it was a legitimate injury. And sucks in what's only his second AEW match. But hopefully we'll hear back. He's only 27. He's a young man here in the ring. So hopefully he can heal up.
And this was taped on the same night as Rey Fenix got hurt, so just bad luck in that arena.
Yeah. I think Bobby...
And at one point, I don't know if you...
What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, at one point during the match, Chris Jericho said that Adam Cole reminded him of Shawn Michaels, and then there was like 10 seconds of silence. So I don't know if the Shawn Michaels name drop was something they did or didn't want.
Like that was too much? Like we're not allowed to say Shawn Michaels?
I don't know. I just noticed maybe they didn't. He was just like, oh, Adam Cole reminds me of Shawn Michaels. And there's just silence after.
There was just nobody had anything to say. It could be that too. It could be that. Maybe no one had anything to say.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, you were saying something about Bobby Fish?
No, I think it was just after the match, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly kind of come out for like a post-match attack, but then the best friends also show up and make the save there.
Yeah.
Because kind of this undisputed best friends thing is still going on.
Yeah, they're beefing. And then we get the new sensation Hook taking on Aaron Solo, and once again, Hook just getting a huge reaction. He's got the whole crowd rooting for him, and just some more impressive action from him. The human suplex machine. He's becoming just dominating like his father used to in ECW. And, locks in that Taz mission, which they're not calling it that. I keep forgetting what they call it. But It's the same move, and he gets the win. Hook on a roll. And then QT Marshall tries to get in his face after, so Hook just plants him with a big Saito suplex.
In his longest match to date. Not bad.
Yeah, no, he's going to up the quality and length more and more.
Of course.
Work way up the card. Yeah. Then we got some tag team action. Ruby Soho and Riho taking on Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And it was fine. Not the craziest tag match you'll see in AEW, but it was okay. They just kind of go back and forth. Hayter tries to nail Riho, but she ducks, and Hayter accidentally knocks Baker out. And then Riho rolls up Hayter, gets a 3. So Baker's pissed afterwards. She shoves Jamie and walks off. So some tension there.
Yeah, not much to this one for me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Riho and Baker are fighting the next night, so maybe they saved a bit of it for that.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Yeah. Then you had 2.0 and Daniel Garcia versus Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz in a street fight. So, we had the garbage cans, smashing people in the head, suplexing them onto it. One of the 2.0 guys even grabs a giant Bert Kreischer head out of the crowd.
Yeah, there was a bunch of those jumbo heads. I think with all the other hosts from the Go Big Show on TNT Thursdays at 8.
There you go. So they fight their way all around the ringside, and they make a big mess. Just spilled beer. We get the old powder, salt in the face, the Mr. Fuji Yokozuna favorite. And then at one point, they all hold Eddie Kingston down and nail him in the head with the ring bell. Put him through a table on the floor. But back in the ring, Santana and Ortiz go on a roll, hit a big combo of moves, ending with a big discus lariat. And they get the win. But the heels are sore losers after, so they attack. Duct tape Eddie to the ropes. It's a duct tape spot on each show there on Friday night. But then, Jericho runs in to make the save. So
Chris Jericho looking rejuvenated. Looking younger and younger. He somehow looks like he's took 10 years off of his life. I don't know what he did.
What? Stop drinking while he was sick?
I don't know. He looks 10 years younger. The years have just washed out of his hair, and he looks like a young man.
Yeah, I think someone said the week before he was leaking like Rudy Giuliani. His hairline.
It was Giuliani-esque.
But hey, he probably couldn't feel it on his forehead. It's kind of stuck.
Yeah, who knows how that works. He emptied out the bottle though.
Yeah. Anyways, shall we just move right along to Saturday night, the first of the new TBS specials, the Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, we're doing it. They said we're getting like 6 of these or something, 4 of these.
Yeah, something like that. So only a 1-hour special. So we're not actually getting all of the belts, which is kind of
And one of them we're getting. I wouldn't even count as a belt.
Yeah. So it was kind of the timing of it is weird because the previous Wednesday they had that huge first TBS show. You had the world title, the tag title change hands, the TBS title crowned. So that felt like a battle of the belts compared to this. Because our first match isn't even for a real belt, really. It's Dustin Rhodes taking on Sammy Guevara for the interim TNT Championship, which is, I don't know, because I don't think Cody's going to be out that long, so this is kind of a weird thing to do.
Well, I guess the belt would have been that or a tag champion. You think they would have put like Hangman Page on something?
Yeah, or maybe have the Jurassic Express, that big tag title win, have that as your...
Yeah, it did seem a bit weird because Cody out with COVID, and but crowning interim champion is really more of like a UFC or like a big fight thing, right? Because
because that's usually when you're for like 6 months you're waiting for the real champ to come back.
Yeah, or it'll be something like
right?
It'll be something like, let's say the during training the champion gets injured. Right, and they're like, we don't want to just strip him of it because he'll be back in 6 months, but let's have a fight now to determine kind of who the champion is for now, and then that person will get to fight the actual guy when he heals up. So that's like the idea, right? It's like Sammy Guevara is the interim champion now, but Cody never lost it. So if Cody wins when he comes back, then he just continues to be the champion. Very bizarre. Weird way to play it.
Well, yeah, especially because I think he's going to be back within a week or two, so it seems like they could have just... I mean, I get they wanted to have another title match here, but they could have just postponed it, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Either way, Dustin Rhodes, though, getting called to the spot here to take on Sammy, so potential for a rematch of that 5-star classic against his brother.
Oh, I mean, God, I can't tell you the last time that I remember Dustin Rhodes wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, his appearances on Dynamite have definitely thinned out a bit. But, they show respect here, shake hands, and just put on a pretty good match. The veteran versus the young hotshot. The crowd was hot. Dustin hits a big pile driver on the floor. Sammy starts selling an injured leg, but he's still able to bust out his crazy springboard, flipping sentons to the floor. And all over the place. But then back in the ring, Dustin catches him with a crossroads, spiking Sammy hard, but he kicks out of that. So Dustin hits a code red for another near fall, but Sammy starts fighting back. He hits the GTH, and this caught Dustin real good in the head. But somehow he kicks out of that. So this is when Fuego del Sol appears from under the ring, pulls out a table, sets it up on the floor. Arn Anderson gets in his face and just says, "Get out of here, kid." And then he starts reaching into his invisible coat pocket to pull out the finger Glock, which I love the way Fuego just sells it. He's terrified. He runs off as if,
well, yeah,
as if there's a real gun in there.
We know Arn Anderson owns guns, and we know that he's a crazy old man. Like, that's a scary combination.
And I love, he didn't even have to point it at him. He just, the threat, just reaching into his coat pocket was enough to scare.
The threat of it being there.
Yeah, but all this time, this table's been set up. This allows Dustin to hit a fucking Canadian Destroyer off the apron through the table. Holy shit. Yeah, so, I mean, they weren't scared to go right back to a table spot off the apron just days after Phoenix getting fucked
And
up,
for a dude who has been winning matches with a running bulldog, to see a Destroyer through a table off the apron, that's a huge leap. Like from running bulldog.
I mean, I like it. Yeah.
And, meanwhile, you're 50 years old.
Yeah, awesome move. Dustin throws him back in the ring, makes the cover, but Sammy kicks out. So Dustin hits him with a crossroads, hangs on, hits a second crossroads, picks him up, goes for the double underhook, but Sammy escapes, super kicks him. And then they just go back and forth with pinning combinations, reversing each other until Sammy's able to hold Dustin down for the 3. So Sammy Guevara, the new interim TNT champion.
Which means, I guess he'll get to take on Cody somewhere, sometime. Maybe just on a regular show. I guess Revolution is the pay-per-view that's coming up. I have no idea when it is. But March probably.
Maybe. Yeah, something around there. But, I mean, Sammy Guevara's already lining up opponents to defend his interim title against, so who knows how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
interesting
either way, I thought this was pretty good. I mean, one of Dustin's best matches he's had in a while.
Of course, yeah. Just have someone back there that can bust it out whenever needed.
Yeah. Then we go to the even more fake title. The FTW title up next.
Even more fake than an interim champion.
Yeah. So, Ricky Starks defending against Matt Sydal. Yeah. I mean, nothing too special. Sydal, he does okay. Gets some moves in. Hits the lightning spiral for a 2 count. But then Starks just cuts him off. Takes over the match. Hits the Rochambeau to get the win. Retain the belt.
It feels like Team Taz has been on the back burner lately. Even just kind of on the normal Rampage, Dynamite kind of regular television cycle. They're not even there.
I mean, right now, Hook feels almost separate from them. He's like too good for them.
Yeah, he's too good for his team's like name, the namesake.
And same with Dante Martin. He like joined him for a week, and he's like, "Wait a minute, fuck this."
So. Yeah. Even Dante Martin fucked off. Where's Leo Rush? Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't really seen him since he was tweeting out some stuff. But main events of this special: Britt Baker defending her women's title against Riho. Baker up to 223 days now and counting.
Wow.
So good little reign. Not quite as long. Hikaru Shida hit the year mark.
She went full year. She went full year.
Yeah. But crowd's hot, cheering for both women here, and they put on a good show. You know, Riho, she's in control, but climbs the top rope. Rebel pulls Baker out of the ring to save her, or she lays right on top of her on the apron. So Riho just dives off, hits a stomp onto both of them, and grabs Baker, goes for a dragon suplex. But then Britt just pulls off this crazy counter, just kind of spins around midair, catches Riho in the lockjaw, but she escapes. So Baker hits her with a curb stomp. Riho kicks out of that. And then this is when Rebel and Hayter, they like both tried to toss Baker the belt. There was kind of some confusion going on there. And the ref catches them, is like, "Hey, you guys are gone." So Baker starts arguing with Jamie, and that's when Riho jumps her from behind, kicks Baker into Hayter, hits a big crucifix bomb, Northern Lights suplex, a big near fall. But Baker fights back through all this, hits another curb stomp, just spiking Riho down. But once again, Riho kicks out. So crowd's going wild, but right away, Baker just locks her in the lockjaw, and Riho is trapped, has to tap out. So Britt Baker retains in maybe one of her best matches of this title reign, I thought.
Could be, and it's crazy that you just said 223 days, and this could have been one of the best, and there's very few that really jump out even. I don't think she was champion during that Lights Out match.
No, that was kind of her last big push towards becoming champion. So.
Right.
Yeah, and then she's kind of just dominated and had a lot of, interference wins and stuff. I mean, there was still some of that here, but Riho's always a good baby face that the crowd gets behind.
Yeah, and it's tough. Why can't a heel champion just win and be a heel champion? Like, is that too much? Is that not possible?
I mean, it is, but not right now, I guess. Not for Britt. That's not what they want.
Or yeah, I'm just kind of thinking kind of across the board. Like a heel who is a champion, does it devalue their heelness if they win it without interference?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, the Usos just did it, or they defended it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Usos did it. I guess, a defense, but still, I'll count it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. There's a lot of... that's the one thing about AEW. They don't do a lot of DQs, but they do a hell of a lot of interference. So it's kind of
you trade it out. Yeah, you trade it for the other way. Like the wins and losses on the columns might be accurate, but
yeah,
it's hard to say.
But overall, the match was great, and Britt and Jamie hug it out at the end, so no hard feelings.
They're all good.
But the end is nigh for that group, I think. Or at least
yeah, probably. Hey, well, as soon as the first real challenger to Britt Baker comes out, I think she'll have to take her out on her own.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker Part 2. I think that's the big pay-per-view money
That could be it.
Yeah. But that was your Battle of the Belts special. Not so special, but, it was, one great match, a pretty good match, and then forgettable match.
Yeah, it's the way it goes. Shit happens,
Yep. Okay.
Let's move on through the weekend. Let's move on through the weekend then, shall we? Let's get ourselves let's get ourselves over to Monday night.
Let's get right. Let's get right.
Where day one's in the past, baby. Royal Rumble's on the horizon. Let's get ourselves into some Monday Night Raw. We open up this week with our WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman making their way down to the ring. MVP and Lashley, they're watching from the back. We all know what it's like. They're standing there staring at the diagonal television.
Yeah, but then they decide, hey, enough of this. Let's go out and give them a piece of our mind. So Lashley says, Brock, you know what? You've been ducking me for 20 years now. And Brock's like, hey, buddy, I've been winning championships that whole time in this ring and other rings. And I had no clue who you even were until I met you for the first time at day one. So then Brock pulls out a nice knock-knock joke to Paul Heyman. Says, knock, knock. Who's there? Bobby. Bobby who? Exactly. Woo!
Good one.
Good
Funny
little
joke.
Got a
Funny
good
joke.
little chuckle, yeah. And then he just calls Lashley a Brock Lesnar wannabe and walks off. And then Cedric and Shelton show up to attack Bobby because I think earlier backstage he rejected them. And he rejects them once again as he beats them down 2-on-1 with ease.
And we have to fill 2 more weeks before the Rumble. So I guess, the old wait until the pay-per-view for to touch each other, to make contact. I guess that'll probably have to be the right decision, as long as Lashley and Lesnar don't get too close to each other. It'll make that Rumble match pop that little bit more. We know Vince loves doing that.
Yeah, and I think I think the match itself will be pretty good.
Yeah, well, certainly something, like Bobby Lashley says, that fans have been anticipating for decades now.
Yeah. And we know Brock, when it's time, the bell rings, he wants to have a good match, he can, and he will.
He can do it. He can, he has, and he will. And he will again.
Yeah. But let's move on, because we've got the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. RK Bro defending against Alpha Academy. And once again, every time these two are in the ring together, Gable and Riddle, I just want to see more of it. Just the holds, the submissions, the wrestling, the amateur wrestling, everything is great. But then, as the case with most RK Bro matches, Riddle just kind of gets isolated. He's worked over. I think Randy even wrote on his hands before the match, tag me in or something. Because, he's always getting worked over and having to make the hot tag to Randy, which is just what he does here. So Randy's in the ring. Otis, meanwhile, takes Riddle out on the floor. Back in the ring, Orton tries to RKO Gable, but Otis tags in behind Orton's back. Gable shoves Randy into Otis, who hits the world's strongest slam and gets the win. What a win for Otis, pinning Randy Orton there to become the tag team champions.
And not many people pin Randy Orton.
And that was clean. Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean in the middle of the ring. Yeah, fun, fast, good pace. The Riddle Gable connection.
Yeah.
And Otis getting, his first real push since his singles push was cut short. It was cut tragically short. He won the Money in the Bank briefcase, ended up losing it to The Miz in a JBL courtroom setting.
So this is his first real championship belt here, and I don't know if you saw afterwards, Chad Gable sent out a nice long tweet. I know you've seen their YouTube channel or whatever, where they're working out together, and he's just like, oh yeah, this is one of the best moments. I'm so happy, my friend. We were training for the Olympics together, and now we're champions. Wow. Yeah, just a nice big tweet.
You just love seeing that. I think they call it like the Shack or like the Carnage Shack or something
like that.
Up there on Instagram. Same thing, similar to Boogs. If you just want to watch some guys just lift some weight and put it right back down, go to Chad Gable's Instagram account.
Then we get Street Profits teaming up with Damian Priest to take on the Dirty Dogs and Apollo Crews. And pretty standard 6-man stuff here. You had the Commander Aziz at ringside trying to cause shit, so Ford takes him out with a big toe-aching hero. But then back in the ring, Ziggler hits Dawkins with a zigzag to get the win. So all of a sudden, Dolph's been getting the job done the last month.
With a zigzag of all moves.
Yeah. So kind of a renewed small push for him this last little bit.
I guess. Yeah, I guess everyone in this match is going up against each other, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it won't lead to anything.
No.
Seth Rollins comes out next to cut a promo about the Raw Rumble and the fact that he's now challenging Roman for the Universal title. But then Big E comes out to give him a piece of his mind, says, guess what? If you beat Roman for that title, I'm going to win the Rumble and then just beat you for it at WrestleMania. So how about a match tonight? And Seth says, nah, maybe next week in a better town. And Big E's like, no, let's do it now. And Seth agrees. So, yeah, we just get that match right there. Good competitive match. Big E hits that suicide dive spear through the ropes. And once again, I have a heart attack every single time. One of these days.
You always think something bad's going to happen.
He's like an inch away every time. There's too much meat falling forward. I don't know. But he's okay. They go back and forth. But then Seth manages to hit him with the curb stomp and gives him the 3. So, rough couple weeks for Big E here.
Real rough. Couple weeks. Seth Rollins still going for that pedigree, too. I think he tried a couple times in this match. Missed it, but he was going for it.
Yeah, it's still
part of the arsenal for him, I guess.
Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ash get interviewed in the ring. They're set to make an announcement when Nikki just takes over and says, yeah, we're going to challenge Carmella and Zelina to a rematch for the titles. But then Rhea's like, Nikki, that's not what we talked about. So Sarah Schreiber's like, what's going on? Has this team run its course? And Nikki just keeps interrupting, says, no, of course it hasn't. But Rhea's like, actually, Nikki, you know what? Let's not talk about this here. And Nikki's just like, no, we're going to do this now. We can win. We're great. But Rhea's like, it's not about the titles. And anyway, they just keep arguing. Rhea says, let's just be friends, and offers a handshake. Nikki says, okay, but then clocks her in the face, lays a beat down. So it looks like we got a heel turn for Nikki.
God, hopefully she can take off that fucking outfit soon, too. Because there's no way a heel would look like that whatsoever.
Well, they might just turn her into a super villain and give her another goofy costume.
Oh, my Lord.
Like a black and pink, I don't know. I don't know. But, hopefully this is the return of Nikki Cross at some point sooner than later.
Yeah. We have the name ready. We have the name available.
You gotta. Yeah. You just gotta take off that stupid outfit. Then we get Omos taking on Nick Sanders. Some jobber in pink pants.
Some jobber in pink pants, baby.
Yeah. Omos kills him, gets the easy win.
Of course.
That's all you need to know about that. Yeah. And then Edge comes out for another episode of The Cutting Edge, brings out his guest and wife, Beth Phoenix. And they start talking about the upcoming tag match with Miz and Maurice, and mention they're the only couple in the Hall of Fame. They've got like 23 titles between them, and they put each other over so much they start just getting hot and basically want to fuck each other right there and then. It was like Gomez and Morticia for a second. But, anyways, Miz and Maurice interrupt, and they all exchange insults, and Miz is like, yeah, Maurice is going to kick your ass. She's not scared. And Maurice runs off scared. So
runs off scared.
Yeah. Austin Theory takes on AJ Styles, trying to prove himself to Vince McMahon once again, and he's doing pretty good early on, but then AJ starts fighting back. He's lining up for the phenomenal forearm when Grayson Waller appears and attacks AJ, causing the DQ.
Did we have a shitty Austin Theory Vince McMahon bit this week? I think we did.
It was probably, I didn't even mention it.
I think we did, and like Vince McMahon puts Austin Theory in the Royal Rumble, I think.
Probably.
He's like, don't screw this one up.
Yeah. So, we also got a segment of Alexa Bliss in therapy. The doctor just shows her a video of Charlotte destroying Lily, and she starts freaking out, trashes his office. So
we're not done. It's mostly going to be based around this whole Lily nonsense. She can't go back to being a normal adult woman. We need to stick with the Lily because you can buy it. Buy the doll, people.
Yeah, and I mean, they showed Charlotte doing it, and you mentioned Charlotte making it to the final four of the Rumble. Maybe Alexa does as well, and she's the one to eliminate Charlotte. Get some revenge, who knows?
Could be, as long as it's not a fucking doll that eliminates her.
Or maybe number 30 hits and Lily comes out herself to do the
like someone in a big like blow up outfit, just like waddling down to the ring.
I hope not.
No, but hey, I wouldn't put it past him.
No. But let's get to the main event of this episode. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Doudrop, triple threat match. The winner earns the right to challenge Becky for the title at Royal Rumble. So, yeah, good match here early on. Liv pulling out a nice tope to the floor, and Doudrop hits a nice Michinoku driver. And then a cool spot where Doudrop's in the corner, Bianca's on the top ropes, and then Liv just comes running in, flips off Doudrop's Hurricane Rana's Belair. So, pulling out a new move every time we see her, Liv Morgan. But then Doudrop grabs her, hits a big power bomb, makes the pin. But then Belair comes flying in with a 450 splash to the middle of the ring to break up that pin. And Bianca just goes on a roll there. She hits Liv with the KOD, makes the cover. But then Becky Lynch, who was on commentary, jumps in, breaks up the pin. But of course, no DQ because of the triple threat. So Belair just starts brawling with Becky outside the ring. Well, Doudrop climbs the ropes and hits Liv with a bonsai drop. Her new finisher here to get a 3 count. Big win for Doudrop.
Big win for Doudrop, who all three of these women are looking to be Becky Lynch's competitor for the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Yeah. Which one of the three of them will it be? I don't know. It's got to be one of these three. One of these three will be the next Raw Women's Champion, right?
Yeah, I would say definitely. Barring some crazy surprise.
Some crazy surprise, which could totally happen. Nikki Bella wins the Rumble.
I don't think that crazy, but either way, Doudrop's getting the title shot. So heel versus heel, kind of interesting there.
Mm-hmm. Well, this Becky tweener thing until we're kind of like firmly on, firmly on the side of what she actually is going to be.
Well, I mean, yeah, after she gets in the ring and slaps Doudrop in the face, goes for the manhandle slam, but she can't lift her. She just gets shoved away, and Doudrop stands tall to end Raw.
Yeah.
So, big moment. Main event winner, Doudrop.
Main event winner, yeah, in the actual main event of the whole show. That's a big deal.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they changed her music. They changed her attitude. Everything but the name, she's doing well right now.
Yeah, hopefully we're getting a couple new names now, between her and Nikki Cross, maybe.
Yeah.
Back to the way it was. But that was Monday Night Raw, and that was probably the first half of the show, Mike. Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with some more NXT action, Dynamite, so you're going to want to stick around.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast here, folks. Thanks for sticking it out through the break, because, the wrestling world doesn't stop, so by association, we don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Let's make it on through our Wednesday night show then, shall we? Uninterrupted. Oh, sorry, Tuesday. Wow, I was a day early, or a day late. My mistake. Okay. Let's move ourselves over there. Let's move ourselves over to NXT 2.0.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3, 4.
In the wake of New Year's Evil, we have a new NXT champion, of course, Braun Breaker. Unclear who will step up to challenge him next, but I'm sure we'll hear about that. He actually kicks off the show after, we got the long-ass video package with his, he put with him his victory over Tommaso Ciampa, but he puts over the Black Heart, for passing him the torch, so to speak, and promise that he'll spend every single day getting better and taking on all challengers.
Yeah, both. He knows he's got some big shoes to fill, but he's ready. And got a good ovation. There was some dueling chants of "You deserve it."
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Yeah, so a little bit of a pocket there, but either way,
that's
I think
the way it should be. You're not going to have 100% of the crowd. You're not Daniel Bryan.
And even he can get the fans to boo.
That's why, exactly. But at least you have 100% of the fans booing you.
Yeah. Either way, good little promo, short and sweet from Braun Breaker.
It moves into, I think it kind of just transitions into a match, kind of. He starts walking up the ramp. Santos Escobar starts walking down the ramp, staring him down on the way. But he's
Yeah.
taking on Zion Quinn in the opening match of this week's episode.
Yeah, and this is Elektra Lopez says she will leave with the winner. So
I didn't know that was
Fighting for her life.
at stake. Either.
yeah,
So,
it was said at one point. I think she said it the previous week. She's
Okay.
like, whoever wins, that's who I leave with, or something.
okay.
So, anyways, Zion, he comes out swinging. He's all over Escobar, and he wants to win that love, win that affection, literally. So, but Escobar goes after his knee, and he's got all the other members of Legado causing distractions at ringside. Escobar gets ready to slam Quinn onto the floor when Elektra walks up and just stares at him. So he drops Quinn and goes, "What the hell?" And that's when Quinn attacks from behind, has a little comeback, and then he turns and stares at Elektra. They touch, they embrace a little bit, but not too much because Quinn's got to get back to the task at hand. So he just nods, goes back into the ring, or turns around to go back into the ring, but then Elektra kicks him in the balls from behind. Damn. She got him. She got me. And this allows Escobar to hit the Phantom Driver, get the win. That damn succubus, Lopez. Yeah.
The succubus. Probably ending the Legado Quinn feud, I guess.
I guess so. I really thought Quinn was going to take this one and walk away with the girl, but he got nothing out.
He got nothing out of it. He got nothing out of it. But after that stare down, possibly the next to take on Braun Breaker.
Escobar, yeah, maybe that'd be a good first defense.
Why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah. Then we get Cameron Grimes taking on Damon Kemp, who, had a nice little amateur style to him. Malcolm Bivens comes out at one point to kind of scout the match, so he seems interested in this Kemp kid. So he could be like the Creed brothers' third little brother. I don't know. But, I myself, I got impressed by Kemp. He had pretty good in there against old Grimy. But Wiley Grimy is just too much for him. He hits the cave in to get the win.
Yeah, I guess Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, who is no longer, I think, is the $1 Million Championship still a thing?
No, I think they just quietly, once he gave it back to Ted, and he drove off in the limo with it.
Right, because if what I can recall, I remember, the build, the LA Knight thing, that was fantastic, but LA Knight won it initially and had it for 2 months, and then Cameron Grimes beats him and then just gets rid of it. So if you probably look at the history books, I'm sure LA Knight has a longer reign.
I think he would. A little. They could have used it a little bit longer.
I feel like they could have.
That's Grimes' only title to this.
I mean, the main roster has a pointless championship. I mean, hell, Dynamite is a pointless championship. You just got rid of a fucking one of your pointless championships. Your Brandy says one pointless championship.
And the $1 Million title looks way better than the fucking 24/7 FTW shit.
Exactly. Well, actually, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
But let's just move along because we got Malik Blade and Andreas Sonafi. I think I pronounce it differently every time I see him. They take on Joe Gacy and Harland. Gacy starts, but he gets beat up, so he tags in Harland, who just dominates, but takes it too far. Doesn't break at the ref's count of 5 in the corner, so he gets disqualified.
Getting DQ'd. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic will be good. Hopefully, bring in some new teams into the mix. But Harlan got disqualified for barely a good reason. When was the last time you saw somebody get DQ'd for not letting go?
I mean, more wrestlers have enough sense to let go. Harlan's just a big brute.
Maybe that's what it is. He's just this big dumbass.
I don't know. No, either way, even a DQ, it's why make him lose?
Well, that's the thing. In a match like this, it's then why have the match in the first place? You end up asking yourself, if it really accomplished nothing. Oh well.
That's what it is. But up next, Cam, this is something that you book this match almost every week, I think.
I think every single week I want something to be on a poll.
And we very rarely get it, but every once in a while it comes around, and this one's had some build to it. Tony D'Angelo taking on Pete Dunne in a crowbar on a pole match.
Well, honestly,
so
I
it's
think
kinda-
the last thing we had on a poll was, I think it was Bliss Bailey. Kendo stick on a poll, and that was probably
terrible.
like 3 years ago, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole feud was one of the worst of both their careers. I think, but
Bizarre.
no, this is much better going on. We got a crowbar. That's a big, heavy weapon. They had it hanging from a chain, kind of like a water ski thing there. It was like horizontal at first.
Yeah, it looked a little bit different. I guess so. Maybe it played a little bit better on camera to have it, facing kind of the other direction.
Yeah. Either way, crowbar on a pole. Grabbing the crowbar does not win the match. It just means you're free to use it on your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they just slug it out. They trade chances, both trying to climb up, grab the crowbar. At one point, it seemed like it slipped out a little bit, but didn't fall off, but made it easier to grab. Just kind of came down, and eventually Tony grabs it, but Dunn counters. They kind of just trade it back and forth, each swinging and missing, but eventually Tony gets a hold, starts choking out Dunn, hits the big swinging neck breaker with the crowbar, but Dunn kicks out. That was a great looking move there. Dunn grabs Tony's got the crowbar, starts bashing in Dunn's fingers, getting some revenge, and Dunn has a little comeback until Tony just clocks him square in the head with the crowbar, and that finishes the job. Tony D'Angelo gets the big 3, big win.
A big victory over an NXT mainstay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, rumors of him going to the main roster. He had a second dark match, I think, after Monday Night Raw. So
Wow.
who knows? I mean, if he's not going to become the NXT World Champion, then he's pretty much done all he can.
Exactly, right? He's in this kind of crop of guys, right? And, whether it was Roderick Strong or Peter Dune, Tommaso Ciampa, anyone who was there for the before times.
Yeah.
The long ago.
Yeah. Up next, we had 6 women tag action. KC Catanzaro, Kaden Carter, Amari Miller taking on Indy Hartwell, Persia Parada, and Wendy Chu. Wendy who? Well, a lot of people were instantly won over by this small woman whose gimmick appears to be that she's a big sleepyhead. So she comes down to the ring. She's got pajamas. She's a onesie, a pillow, a sleep mask. Kind of some Orange Cassidy-esque. A bit more just full-on sleep, I guess.
A bit more formal, I guess.
Yeah, like Cassidy's lazy, but this is just full on. Like maybe she's got like
narcolepsy.
Yeah, or chronic fatigue syndrome or something. Either way, she's laying in the corner for most of the match. The other woman working hard. Some nice high flying moves from Team Casey, but then eventually she gets tagged in and she goes on a roll, showing. Much like Orange Cassidy, she's not just a sloth. I guess she basically is a woman, Orange Cassidy,
with pajamas.
With the pajamas, so she goes on a roll, tags in Persia, who hits her finisher, tags in Indy to hit the big flying elbow drop to get the win. So the 3 of them get the victory, and I like this Wendy Chu.
Wendy Chu, tough, history of trying to get gimmicks over.
This is one that, if the person wasn't into it, it wouldn't work, but she seems like she's into it, and I think it could become a crowd favorite in quick order.
Well, I believe as though, Wendy Chu creates gimmicks that are crowd favorites. Mike, if you head over to Pro Fight DV, the internet wrestling database, and you type on Wendy Chu's information, well, I mean, we've seen this woman before, Mike. You saw her in television set. I saw her in a television set. We saw her for months and months and months with regularly no activity. However, she was always there, sitting on her chair, pointing out her domineering finger.
Wow. I had no idea that was the same.
It's the same.
Mei Ying is Wendy Chu?
Mei Ying is Wendy Chu. Also,
now that I think about the height, I'm like, the height matches, but I never would have guessed.
Prior to 2020, also went by the name of Karen Q. She's been on the NXT system for coming up on 3 years now. This performer, she's performed for years and years with the company. There's something about her they must really like, regardless of if the gimmick gets over.
Well, hey, I gotta say, I mean that's hell of a versatility to go from Mei Ying to Wendy Chu. I had no idea it's the same person.
So kind of by doing so, Mei Ying is done officially.
I think she has to be now.
And Wendy Chu is back doing this shit. So isn't that great?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this leads. But I mean, hopefully this doesn't go the way of Presley, the little pup. I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of Mei Ying, up next we had Boa taking on Solo Sikoa. But this was regular Boa, no face paint right here, as he's trying to subdue that demon from inside him. You know, Wendy Chu, maybe that's all that happened. She got rid of it. She passed it on to Boa and became her normal Wendy self. But they'll never say that on TV.
That could be it. That could be it.
But anyway, so these two just stiff strikes going on. Boa gets a cut above his eye. They brawl outside the ring. The ref counts to 10, so double count out. And they just keep fighting all the way into the back, beating the shit out of each other, making a big mess all over backstage. Solo tosses Boa over some equipment, and then he goes after him, but then he gets hit in the face by a fireball, and Boa rises up. He rises up, and he's now got the face paint on, so he's still doing it. It's all him now.
Tian Shaw's him now. Mei Ying's falling asleep in the corner.
Yeah, Xia Li's had like one appearance and then not seen since on SmackDown.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to say about that one. But Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams come out next, cut a promo, just kind of bragging about Carmelo unifying those Cruiserweight North American titles. And they were trying a little too hard to be cool and cocky for me, but maybe that's their gimmick.
Yeah.
As they go to leave in the parking lot, Cameron Grimes is hanging out in front of their cars and lets them know, hey, buddy, I'm coming for that North American titles. So this is what we want. Finally, Grimy getting some title action.
Grimy getting some title action. A couple charismatic performers, too, right? They could carry shows potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a feud looking forward to.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go to the main event for this show because we got a special guest, AJ Styles, taking on Grayson Waller. Big opportunity here. He's been picking this fight for the last few weeks, so time to put up or shut up, of course. And, funnily enough, Waller, he was not wearing the gloves for this match. He's been wearing those AJ Styles gloves.
And that
every
was
week.
the thing that made him like AJ Styles or something, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, puts up a great fight here against the phenomenal one. He lasts about 15 minutes in his first ever main event singles match here, so good back and forth stuff. Waller, he hits his stupid elbow drop for the 2 count. I don't even know. I don't think that's his finisher, but
I don't think so.
Then he goes on a roll. Yeah, he hits that roll. He dives through the ropes, rolls into a stunner. That's his thing, I guess. And but AJ kicks out of that. Goes on a comeback, hits the phenomenal forearm to get the win. But, another good showing for Waller in the ring.
Yeah, I still don't like that. I don't get it, but sure. Right?
Yeah, the gimmick is still
I have no clue why AJ Styles is here at all or, what the point of it is.
Yeah, or even Waller. Why does he wear boxing shorts? But he has nothing to do with he's not a fighter.
Yeah, he's not. He has. Well, that could just because he doesn't have Corey Graves telling us that he's a 12-time Golden Glove boxing, whatever the hell that means.
Whatever it is.
But yeah, possibly still the top heel in NXT though. Possibly, right? I mean,
maybe I don't know because afterwards AJ gets on the mics he says, you're good, but you're not phenomenal, and your night's not over, because I want to introduce you to one of my buddies. And LA Knight comes out, who I guess he's just babyface now, if he's buddies with AJ Styles and coming out here to beat up Waller, so I don't know. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, a de facto babyface. So maybe Waller, LA Knight? That's the next thing, maybe?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, LA Knight hasn't had much in this NXT 2.0 era, so at least he's getting a feud.
Yeah, really one of the dudes that kind of fell behind there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is a bummer. And that was the entirety of NXT 2.0.
Yeah, so
Let's move on to our final show of the night. Of course, we're on TBS. If you're on TNT, you're on the wrong place. Move over to Channel 47. We're talking TBS, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite.
AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
A couple big matches on the card, including CM Punk and Wardlow.
Yeah, but before we get to that, we got Adam Cole coming out with Cole and Kyle and O'Reilly. Yeah, Kyle and Fish, the three of them, you know who, hyping themselves up, and then the Young Bucks come out and says, "Let's talk this out." Bucks want to make things clear that this is their company. They're the longest reigning tag champs in AEW history, and their resolution is to get the belts back. And Bobby and Kyle say, well, we got the same resolution, and nobody's going to stand in our way, including you. And Cole's like, hey, guys, this is what we need. A little friendly competition, you know? That's what makes us the best faction in AEW history. And then the best friends come out to interrupt, and Cole just insults Orange Cassidy, so he jumps in the ring. They start brawling, and then Statlander comes in. She steps up to Cole, and then Britt Baker comes out, attacks her, hits her with a curb stomp. Cole hits Cassidy with a boom. So they all pose together. I think this is our first on-screen moment between Baker and Cole, as they even share a kiss. So
now, does this team of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, do they have a name yet? Are we leaning into something similar to an Undisputed Era type thing, or?
Yeah, I think I saw that they trademarked something. But I can't remember what it was.
They might
not have been.
There's like a possible name that they have.
Yeah, it was like a similar type of word, Undisputed. Yeah, something. But yeah. So, and also this thing with Baker. Does this mean she's part of the group? Or part of the Super Elite at this point?
I hope so. Because what do I say every single time there's like an all male faction? I say to myself,
you need a woman in them.
You need it. And the best friends are doing it with Chris Statlander. Hit Row did it, and they all got fired. And
American Top Team.
American Top Team has Paige Van Zant. I mean, even
Jericho just slut shames her every week.
Yeah, when Jericho just is a terrible person, and even the Bloodline has the option of throwing Naomi in there, and they just don't. Like, why are why aren't people trying to do this more? I feel like it's such a great idea.
Yeah, and hey, with Baker, you get a package deal. You get Rebel and Jamie Hayter along.
You get the whole thing. The Elite could just end up being half the roster. We got to kind of just like...
It's the NWO 2.0.
Exactly, NWO 2.0, baby. Well, I can't say 2.0.
Well, they have a team called 2.0.
But whatever it is, I guess if we get a 6-man Revolution coming up...
Yeah. Some sort of intergender. I think they might have challenged them to an intergender match later or something.
Yeah, maybe something
tag,
like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Mixed tag.
Well, yeah, you could do Orange Cassidy, Trent, and Chucky T, and Chris Statlander against Britt, Cole, Colorado. Like an eight person tag.
Yeah, they could definitely do that. But let's go on to Wardlow taking on CM Punk in the biggest match of his career, I think. Maybe even bigger than that cage match with Cody.
Probably. Yeah. More at stake, I feel, with, later on in his career.
Yeah, exactly. So, huge match either way for Wardlow, and got MJF at his side, of course. And crowd's hot, chanting for Punk, but I heard some Let's Go Wardlow chants in there as well. So, hey. Yeah.
I'd say he's over.
Yeah, he's over. He's over. Crowd's liking him, and match starts a little slow, but picking up the plotting style there. And Wardlow brings out, he starts doing that powerbomb symphony. He goes for it, but Punk escapes, nails him with some big kicks to the head. But then Wardlow just catches him, hits the powerbomb, then hits a second one right away, then a third, a fourth, a fifth, 5 in a row. Just killing Punk. He goes for the cover, puts his foot on Punk's chest. About to hand him his first loss, maybe, but then MJF just jumps on the apron and says, no, I want more. So Wardlow hits him with another powerbomb, but MJF just screams again. So Wardlow does it, a 7th powerbomb. This is a beating like Punk has never taken here in AEW, and maybe in his whole career. This is madness. He rolls to the apron, and MJF tells Wardlow to hit him with another one, this time through the timekeeper's table. So he's broken him through the table. He's left for dead, but Punk just makes it back in the ring at the count of 9. So MJF tells Wardlow to powerbomb him again. Wardlow picks up Punk, but then he gets reversed with an inside cradle. 3 count, just like that. MJF, perhaps costing Wardlow the biggest win of his whole career. Because he had it. He had it in the bag there. 8 power bombs, 9 power bombs, however many he did.
That's a lot of power bombs, including the power bomb through the table.
Like I said, he dominated Punk. Like no, even Brock Lesnar didn't dominate Punk that big in their match. So that was an impressive showing for me from Wardlow.
And Wardlow was pissed at MJF, rightfully so.
And MJF was pissed at Wardlow, so they just start screaming at each other. He says, "You never win the big match." He shoves him, starts doing the finger jabbing in his chest, but then Wardlow grabs his finger, bends it back. So Sean Spears just jumps in, breaks this up, and says, "Hey, boys. And then Wardlow just walks off all steamed. But Wardlow, he walks off while Punk is still down, recovering at ringside, just selling despite being the winner. So I don't know. Even in the loss, Wardlow looking like a beast.
Wardlow's looking great, yeah. Gotta say.
Yeah, I thought. And MJF Punk. It's going to be coming sooner than later. I don't think they can hold it off till a pay-per-view.
That's probably 2 months away. That feels like a little long.
Yeah, I think they'll have to do it. I don't know. I think they announced some sort of beach bash special.
Oh, yeah, there's a beach bash. There's a beach bash.
So maybe there. Good old February beach bash.
Of course.
But let's go to the next match. Dante Martin taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. The old speed versus strength there. And Hobbs hitting a big spine buster on the floor early on. And, of course, he's got Team Taz. Ricky Starks get involved at ringside behind the ref's back. Cheap shots. So this allows Hobbs to dominate a large portion of the match. But then Jay Lethal comes out to kind of even things up, take out Starks. So Dante has his comeback. Hits the double springboard moonsault, which they're calling the nosedive now. And that gets him the win. So Dante Martin, breakout star of the year with a nice win.
Breakout star and another loss for Team Taz. Going down. But where's where's Leo Rush been? Anyone?
No, I mean, him and Dante kind of had that split. But then it turns out Dante wasn't even joining Team Taz, so maybe he could have still been friends with Leo. But
yeah, I
don't know. Like I said, Leo started tweeting during that whole big swole stuff, so maybe I don't know. But then we go backstage where there's some tension still between Jericho and Kingston, and they're just yelling at each other. He tells Santana and Ortiz, "Man, if you leave this Jericho, he's getting you nowhere." And he's kind of right, man. They haven't had very many shots at the titles.
That's a good point. I mean, they haven't really had the opportunity to do much.
Yeah. And I mean, the Inner Circle's not really... I mean, they're still together, but they're not really touring, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, I think we're past that. We're definitely past Chris Jericho.
Yeah. I think the only one who needs the group is Jake Hager, because he's really... doesn't have a whole lot on his own.
I'm sure he's a dark guy, you know?
Yeah, probably racking him up there.
Probably.
MJF comes out. He's pissed off that says Punk got a fluke victory over an oath tonight. And next week you're going to take your first L in AEW because I'm going to give you the match you've all been waiting for. Next week, CM Punk versus Sean Spears. So another week they bought. But yeah, eventually. He's only got so many goons. What, next is FTR and then MJF?
Are they going to do each individually, like Danielson taking out fucking Dark Order?
I don't know. There's another 5 labors of...
no, I don't think I could do another 5 labors.
I don't think we need to do 5, but yeah. They got to do the match soon.
Yeah, they have to. Just, I think, yeah. Just because.
Definitely can't wait till Revolution.
No.
Then the world champ Adam Page comes out to cut a promo and, puts over Bryan for their 90-plus minutes of battles they've had the last month. Calls him one of the best in the world. But, I do it all for this title, and it's a new year. The records have been reset, so I need a new challenger. And that's when Dan Lambert comes out, and he gives some respect. Says, hey, man, you and Brian had some of the best matches I've seen in over 40 years. So I respect you. And the fact that you didn't take the Cody Rhodes path of backstage politics to get the title. But then he says, hey, you're not a real cowboy. You're disrespecting the legacy of cowboys. And, starts ranting, going on. But then Lance Archer eventually comes out, and Lambert's scared because it was American Top Team that took out Archer a little while back. So he grabs a hold of Lambert, but then he lets him go and hits Hangman instead. Beats him up with a chair, and then sets a chair up in the ring and hits a blackout onto the chair, just crumpling it, and the Hangman.
Nice to see Lance Archer back, though, after that scary, it was a little fucking dive he took.
Moonsault to the head,
Moonsault.
or he landed on his head a
The
little bit.
old moonsault to the head.
Yeah, not a good move.
Not a good move, but
yeah.
if Lance Archer's the next dude to take on Hangman Adam Page, total different styles. Total from Bryan Danielson. It could serve well as the next test to Hangman, right? The ability to absorb punishment. I don't know.
And it's good opponent. It'll be like a good filler feud. I don't mean that in a negative way, but like not a pay-per-view match, but it'll lead to fill the gap between.
Just something in the middle.
Yeah. Then we get Hikaru Shida taking on Serena Deeb in the feud that's been going on for a little while here. And during Shida's entrance, Deeb attacks with the kendo stick and slams her into the stairs. So Shida just starting at a big disadvantage here. Deeb just works over Shida's leg, applies a half crab. Shida's got nowhere to go, but she won't tap out. And then referee Paul Turner just makes his own decision and rings the bell anyways for the safety of Shida. So referee stoppage is the call, and Shida's pissed off, yelling at the ref, and Deeb comes back, just beats her down some more with the kendo stick.
Well, that's why the official needs to be there, right? To maintain order, to keep everybody safe. I thank you, Paul Turner. I thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think Shida, she wasn't quite in the danger that he thought.
You could be right, but then again, Mike, you could be wrong. So
I could. Hey, it's his decision to make, and he made it. So.
He made it.
After that, we had Matt Hardy. Oh, sorry, I've lost my headphone here.
Popping out.
Fell right out. I'm back. Matt Hardy taking on Penta in Hardy's hometown here, Charlotte, North Carolina, or something.
Close, yeah. He was the hometown hero in this one.
Something like that. So getting a good pop, good response from the crowd here. Match itself wasn't anything to brag about. They spent too much time trading taunts. The delete, the zero, Miedo, back and forth.
Delete, Miedo, delete,
yeah,
Miedo, delete.
Too
Miedo.
much. But then Hardy pulls out a big spot. He goes for a top rope moonsault, but Penta avoids that, hits the no fear, gets the win. And then afterwards, he gets on the mic, calls out Malachi Black. The lights shut out. Malachi appears, and he's got a red eye now. I don't think he had the red on his eye, did he?
I don't know. I don't know, but the whole kind of they're spending some time on that makeup around
every week,
his
it's
eye. Every
more
week.
and more. Yeah, he's taking over. So anyway, he's here. He attacks Penta. The Varsity Blondes run out to make the save. The three of them are all beating down Malachi, but then Julia Hart tells him to stop. She's got her eye patch on, so something's going on. Why does she care about Black? I don't know. But then the lights go out again, and Brody King appears. He takes everyone out. Crowd was popping for this. And yeah, looks like he's here for the House of Black, as speculated.
As speculated by me, and as speculated also by me, Julia Hart. Why would she tell the Varsity Blondes to stop? And, and then why, after she did Malachi Black have a scheming kind of chuckle on his face?
Yeah, I like it. It's a
and
good
why
career
was
move.
Julia Hart wearing a black shirt when normally the Varsity Blondes wear colorful clothes? I don't know, but best friends have Statlander. The Elite's got Baker. The House of Black. They got Julia Hart.
Definitely. Julia Blackheart.
Julia Blackheart. Nah, that's too much. That's too close.
And in an even further tease, we got a little vignette showing the new Pac as he's got like bandages over his eyes.
Now, Pac has no eyes. So everyone here either has one eye or no eyes. This is really going down south.
Well, maybe he's just hiding. He's hiding his like red eyes that are underneath.
Oh,
he's turning.
Okay.
He's transforming into what Malachi is. So, yeah, I like it though. The House of Black. If you got Malachi, Pac, Julia Hart, Brody, that's a good group there. So, hopefully that's your group.
It could be a good one.
Then we got some tag wrestling. The Acclaim taking on Bear Country. Another classic size versus speed. Max Caster hits the mic drop elbow off the top rope to get the win for the Acclaimed, who are the number 1 ranked team in the division.
No, well, I guess because everything restarts, so I guess they're the only team with a win.
I guess that's why they were bragging about it. I was like, how'd they sneak their way up there? But
I think they're the only team that's won a match.
Yeah. Well, Sting and Darby come out after and beat them up, get some revenge. I mean, maybe they want to sniff around the tag titles.
Maybe they do.
Then the main event, Sammy Guevara. Sammy defending that interim TNT title against Daniel Garcia. Just a nice, fast-paced, hard-hitting match. These guys were doing some stiff, just straight-up slaps to the face, and Sammy doing his usual flips to the floor. Garcia hanging in there, though. Some good showing. I mean, this is a main event match for him, so good spot.
It's a big deal.
And at one point, Sammy hits him with a crossroads to send a message to Cody, but Garcia kicks out of that. Then he picks Sammy up, hits a huge spike pile driver. Sammy kicks out of that, though, and this is when 2.0 run out, and they attack Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, who had been both at ringside watching at separate corners for the whole match. So they're all brawling at ringside. They jump on the apron, but Sammy thwarts them off, hits Garcia with a GTH to get the win and remain the interim TNT champ. And
still, of course, I think after the match, Chris Jericho and Kingston kind of clear everyone out before leaving us with another tease. I guess Jericho... See, what I don't want about Jericho and Eddie Kingston is that Jericho's going to go over. Like, I don't want that. He's had 2 fucking matches in 6 months, but why would he... He's not coming back for one match and then losing, right? Like, I feel like if Jericho's doing 12 matches a year or 10 matches a year, he's kind of like winning them all,
Or probably like 10 of them.
Or right, he's going to win a huge percentage of them.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully they can do the right thing and have Eddie win this feud and get custody of Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, it's for custody of Santana and Ortiz.
And yeah, they can go on their merry way. Inner Circle can just slowly crumble.
Yeah, just slowly crumble by the wayside, and then we'll never have to see them or hear from them again.
Yeah.
Well, that was all the in-ring action as surmised by us. Let's give you our last little thing of the evening. Let's give you our Wrestler of the Week.
With the Wrestler of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week.
I am going to kick this one off. We just heard his name. He just defended Sammy Guevara. I'm going to give you the Wrestler of the Week because you won a championship and you defended it. And that's kind of all you can really ask for in a good week,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Mr. Mayhem Wardlow. Because, like I said, that dominant performance. He didn't get the win, but I think he had it won. And I think that was the message they were trying to convey. Because Punk, he was out on the ground. He couldn't even stand after the match. And, Wardlow.
Who knows? Maybe next time Wardlow, maybe he's had enough of MJF. Maybe we'll be seeing that in the coming weeks. Maybe that'll be a revolution. MJF and Wardlow.
I don't know, eventually. But, that's going to be a big big match when that happens.
Eventually, they're going to have to go at it. And that's all the time we have, folks. Thanks for listening. Rate, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. The new year battles on. A whole new set of shooty contenders. Can't wait for the full year of packed wrestling action.
Oh, yeah. Royal Rumble just around the corner. And many people's favorite show, or favorite match, at least, of the year. Always a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of Rumble build. A lot of Rumble build to come up in the next few weeks. So you're not going to want to miss that. And, Mike, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, have a good one.
2